Evening, this is Tom Farmer with the Knoxville Academy of the Blade, and today I'm going to be reviewing my Castille Armory Rapier and Dagger set. To start off with, I got his stock 38-inch blade. You can see it's got two fullers right here, and it actually tapers both directions. It's thicker here than it is here, and obviously it's thicker here than it is here, which gives you a very strong, rigid forte, but still with a nice flexible point. And it also flexes here in the last third, where it's supposed to. The other neat thing is the ricasso inside here is a full inch wide, and actually slightly thicker than the blade, which gives you a very nice support for controlling blade movement. And there is plenty of room inside the guard for any hand position of your choice. The other neat thing about it is, if you see here on the guard, I got a custom design based on the book I'm writing, and he actually took the sketch I did and mocked it up in steel to use for the sides of the guard here, which makes this a completely unique weapon, never before seen ever, which is pretty darn cool. The pommel here is what he calls a scent stopper pommel, which, unlike your typical ball pommels or barrel pommels that you can smack yourself on the wrist with, this gets you a lot of freedom of movement here on the wrist without hitting yourself in the arm, especially if you're up high in high guards like this, or you're making lots of quick disengages. You can make very short, sharp disengages without smacking myself in the wrist. The dagger has a similar blade on it, no fullers obviously, but still tapers both directions. It's still pretty rigid down here, flexible up here in the last third, and it's got this nice big side ring that will protect your hand and knuckles in case you're fighting somebody who likes to cut and slash a lot. And I got these both as a set, so they both have matching blued guards and pommels, and they both have matching cherry handles. Go ahead and pause it for a second. Okay, sorry about that. I briefly lost my train of thought. It happens. It's Friday. Okay, the next thing I was going to mention is balance and weight. These things are probably the nicest rapiers I have ever held, partly due to the taper and everything, the way the blade's designed. The weight distribution is phenomenal. These balance, the rapier here balances right here, less than ½ an inch in front of the shell, so that puts it roughly 3 to 4 inches in front of the crossbar. And the way I like to fence and hold the sword, here with 2 fingers over the bar, that puts it right in my hand, again, making it very useful for short, sharp movements. Weight-wise, it's actually on the heavy end of things, but it doesn't feel like it. It weighs a little less than a kilo, right at 975 grams, but it's so well balanced and the weight's distributed so nicely that it doesn't feel like it weighs 2.5 pounds. The dagger weighs a little less than ½ a kilo, right at 475 grams. And so together, you're looking at 1.5 kilos roughly of weight, which is pretty darn comfortable, actually. Balance-wise, for the dagger, I mentioned the rapier's balance point. The balance point for the dagger is actually here behind the guard, which may seem a little bit of an odd spot for it, but again, I like it. It sits there, which gives you a very light, very quick dagger in the point. Otherwise, the only real downside so far that I've found is the fact that I had to save up money for the better part of a year or so to afford the 2 of these. But if you can put the money aside, or if you're an investment banker or something and you have bajillions of dollars laying around, I would definitely recommend picking up a pair of these. I've not had a chance to spar with them yet. As you can see, they're still lacking tips, but I have a feeling once I spar with them, I will like them even more. I would definitely recommend getting a pair if you can, and they're definitely worth the money because he will do anything you want. Weight, balance, design, whatever. Oh, and one other neat little thing that I forgot. If you'll zoom in here on the handle here, you may have to refocus it. It should autofocus.
It's autofocusing.
But if you see on the handle here, not only is this nice piece of cherry wood, but this little thing right here is a little leather disc. And that sort of serves the same purpose as the felt pad in a modern sport fencing weapon, and it gives you a nice soft object that the grip and the pommel can both sort of sink into, which actually makes the whole thing a lot more solid. And so these feel very solid. There's no wiggle, there's no play in them at all. Very nice.